Elizabeth, first of all, welcome to Reno, Nevada, despite the snow.
Thank you, thank you. It's been one hell of an experience because I wasn't expecting snow. And I came in and I saw snow, and to be honest with you, I've traveled a lot, but this is the first time I really saw snow in such large expanse, and it's good for me because I'll be able to tell my daughter I saw snow.
Oh, there you go. That's a great story to bring home.
Yes.
What do you hope to get from your attendance of the Women in Aviation Convention this year?
Knowledge is never, there's no limit to knowledge. You can always learn. You learn until you die. So I expect to gain more knowledge from my attendance at this conference. And I know the last one I came, I gained something, and this one I'm gaining a lot. You know, something to take back home. For instance, I now know that if I go back home, I would tell the permanent secretary that there is need for us to tertiary institutions and schools to encourage children on career basis. You know, we've not done that before, but this is something I intend to encourage that we do this year. You know, and subsequent years. You know, to encourage children, especially girls, in the area of aviation. You know, to be honest with you, in my country today, we can proudly say that the Minister of Aviation is a woman and the Permanent Secretary is a woman. What more can you expect from a country?
Outstanding. Tell me about aviation in Nigeria. What is the experience like there? What has happened? I was there over 30 years ago, but what has happened in those 30 years? What, and more important, what is the prognosis for the future of aviation in your part of the world?
Well, for the future, the aviation in my part of the world intends to go space from terrestrial. And within the last 2 years, there's been so much that's been achieved. The total radio coverage is complete. So in Nigeria, you can be in Nigeria today and even see aircraft in airspace in Europe. I can tell you about some years back, an aircraft got lost in Nigerian airspace, but that's a thing of the past, you know, with all these equipments on ground. And there's so much projects being put in place to make sure that the total coverage is absolute. Aviation in Nigeria has come a long way, a very long way, you know. And for instance, we are in a position to even provide coverage for some of the West African countries in our region. Yes, you know, yes. Like I flew from Lagos, and the air traffic controllers were able to vector an aircraft around turbulent weather, you know, which never used to be. In the past, you would find yourself in the deep of bad weather and there's very little you can do. But today, even separation is done, you know, in such a way that there is no delay in the air. So there's a lot of progress has been made, you know. Today, for instance, we can proudly say that we have two airlines from America coming to Nigeria. It never used to be, and you know that. We have United Airlines and we have Delta Airlines, which is an accomplishment, it's an achievement for us. And it's because the airspace is now considered safe. And with the Category 1 achievement, what more can you say for a country? And the federal government is doing a lot. It's putting in a lot of money into it to make sure that it is sustained. A lot of training is being given to staff of the various parastatals, and the ministry it's training its staff too. So I believe, you know, we've gone a long way.
Well, the growth of a nation like yours in a part of the world that, to a certain extent, for a long time was isolated in terms of aviation, the growth of aviation in your nation has to be critical. I mean, how pivotal do you believe the aviation community is to your nation?
Well, if the government will sink so much fund to provide so much, it means that it is important to the government. And you know that aviation is something that encourages trade, you know, because it brings in businesses. And yes, it has a multiplier effect that you cannot begin to quantify.
What can you tell a general aviation pilot who may want to fly around to your side of the world and fly into an amazing place like Lagos?
I'll tell him that the airspace there is safe and he can come anytime, any day, and he'll be well guided.
Aero-TV is brought to you by... Welcome to the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Real-time 24/7 online, audio, and video programming, where aviation has been getting updated for over a decade. Distributing over 11,000 stories, features, audio, and video programs every year. Only ANN covers aviation and aerospace with this much depth, insight, and expertise. Check us out on the web at aero-news.net.